Welcome to the Care It Out Sleep Show, a podcast for tired parents who are searching for a bit more sleep the caring way. I am your host, Kerry Secker, infant sleep consultant and founder of my unique sleep approach, Care It Out. I'll hope you'll join me on my mission to get Smalls a settled night's sleep without the tears, training or techniques. I love talking about sleep and can't wait to share all my sleep subjects with you. My approach to getting you more sleep is simple, straightforward, but above all, it's got to make sense and feel right for you. Ready to get more sleep? Then let's get started. Hello, you are listening to Kerry Secker and welcome to the first ever episode of the Care It Out Sleep Show. Pretty sure you can tell by my voice, but I am very, very excited to be launching this podcast and speaking with you today. I have got so much sleep shizzle to share with you. That was one of the driving forces behind setting up the podcast, that I got myself in a bit of a tears where to start with this first episode, because it feels like such a milestone and I really wanted to start the show on a bit of a bed banger. So I ended up having to take some of my own advice. I had to take a couple of nice big deep breaths and tell myself, Kerry, you've got it. And I finally came up with a show, and I've just decided to do what I do best, talk about sleep and talk about what I know and just share it. So the very first episode today, I really want to share with you 6 things that I really, really want you to know about sleep, in particular sleep and your small. So the first thing that I really, really want you to know about sleep is that if your little one, even if your little one hasn't napped in weeks, is waking up all throughout the night, you haven't slept in weeks, I know it doesn't always feel like it or seem like it, but 100% you are not to bed blame. Care It Out is a got myself in a pickle already, is a bed blame free zone completely. Again, I would be a very silly person to presume how you are feeling, and also to tell you that those feelings aren't valid, because it's natural to feel that you're doing it wrong and that it's your fault, you're making mistakes, because let's be honest, that's what a lot of the resources out there are telling you. But 100% you're not. There is always biology behind a sleep struggle, even if you can't see it. Sometimes I can't see it. Sometimes it does take a little bit of seeing the sleep story and unpicking it a little bit. But 9 times out of 10, there is always biology behind a sleep struggle. And I've never, ever, ever talked to a parent, got to the end of a sleep story, worked with a parent and thought to myself, oh my goodness, they are to bed blame. It's completely their fault. You're just not to bed blame. And I think I'm so passionate about this. This is one of the fundamental reasons why I set up Care It Out, because as you probably know, I talk to a lot of parents. I do a lot of talking. I love talking, which is a good thing, but I talk to a lot of parents, and I was hearing too frequently, I know I'm guilty of, I need to break that sleep association. I know I'm doing it all wrong. I'm guilty. I'm making a bad habit. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. And it broke my heart a little bit just to hear parents talk like this and feeling that they were to blame for their little one's sleep struggle. And it's okay to feel like that. I've just gone through why. But I wanted to share that message. I'm on a serious mission to share the care that parents aren't to blame, there's biology behind asleep, and share some sleep suggestions with you that could get you to a more settled night's sleep. So if you are listening to this and this really resonated with you, your little one isn't sleeping, they're not napping, sleep is a shiz show, you're feeling like you're doing something wrong, your little one's broken, you're making all the mistakes, you're doing all the wrong things, 100% you are not to bed blame. There's always biology behind it. The second thing that I really want to share with you is that you don't have to teach or train your little one to sleep. Yep, that's right, you heard it. Smalls do not need teaching or training to sleep. And again, I know that sounds so unbelievable, because every other blog, book is 10 ways to teach your little one to sleep. If you do, somebody, your next door neighbour's friend's dog is going to tell you, oh, you know, it's your fault because you haven't sleep trained or you're not teaching your little one to sleep. Sleep is a biological process, and that means innately we are born knowing how to sleep. And I am the queen of peep phrases, but one of my favourite one of my favourite phrases, this alliteration is very difficult. I haven't made life easier on myself, but one of my favourite phrases is that sleep is a biological process. Innately, we don't need to teach or train them to do it. They know how to do it, even if they're not giving that impression, because in order to survive, we have to sleep, and in order to sleep, we need to survive. So they do know, even if your small isn't giving you this impression, they do know innately how to sleep. They don't need training, they don't need teaching to do it. It's not like riding a bike or driving a car. But sometimes the sleep can get a little bit blocked, which I'm going to talk about so much more in the rest of the podcast. So the second thing is that I know it sounds unbelievable, but you don't have to teach or train your little one in order to get them to a settled night's sleep. I think that's really important. Third thing, we're on number 3 already. The third thing is that there are no bad bed habits. On my approach, I try to steer. I don't think there's things as good or as bad or wrong. It's just whether it's working or if it's working well for you. And I 100% don't believe in bad bed habits. I don't talk about the word bad on my approach. In fact, it's not really a massive word in my vocab, but especially when it comes to sleeping habits, there aren't any bad ones. You might hear, again, you have a baby, everybody's got an opinion on what you should be doing with your little one. What they should be doing, and whether so concerned about whether you're making a rod for your own back. Again, another one of my favourite phrases ever is your baby, your bed, your business. Every single time it will always come back for me to that. Is it working for parents? But coming back to the bad bed habits, I just don't buy into this bad habits. Again, this alliteration is really getting the better of me. I don't buy into bad habits. I'm all about whether it's working for you, and every small is so different. So if it's working for you, all is well, and this goes for anything small and sleep related. So feeding to sleep, it's not a bad habit. If it's working for you, all is well. Cuddling to sleep, not a bad habit. If it's working for you, all is well. Feeding at night time, not a bad habit. If it's working for you, everything, all is well. Rocking to sleep, not a bad habit. If it's working for you, all is well. These things only need to change if they're an issue for you, it's unsustainable, or it's not working. And lots of things, there's lots of stuff out there that says you've got to do these things in order to get to the settled night's sleep. Now, I'm not an expert. I don't proclaim to be. I've got expertise. I don't proclaim to be the expert of your baby. That's your job. I've got expertise and experience. That's something completely different. And from my experience, these things you can rock, feed, bed share, room share, they're in their own room, and they're not a bad habit if they're working for you. And you can still get to that settled night's sleep. I think that's really important. The fourth one is, and this is a biggie, in fact I think they're all biggies, but this is a particularly bed biggie, is there isn't this one-size-fits-all sleep solution, and nor is this one-size-fits-all sleep secret. I am on one heck of a mission to get you and your smalls a settled night's sleep. So I try and share as much sleep shizzle, I call it sleep resources, as I possibly can, in the form of blogs, Instagram posts, radio shows, speaking at events, these podcasts. And neither does anybody have this, or we're holding on to this sleep secret. There isn't a sleep secret out, the one size fits all sleep secret out there. Otherwise, somebody would be a bed billionaire. They'd be making billions out of it. And yeah, I think this is really important. I think it's so easy to get caught up in that there's this one size fits all expert out there and this one size fits all sleep solution. Number one, 100% you are your little one's expert. Nobody can know, including myself, nobody can know your baby like you know them. You know them best, you know what they need, you know them better than anybody else. And that, in my eyes, makes you their expert. In fact, I'm always saying, parents, that you are the expert. I've got expertise and experience that I want to guide you, but you know your baby best, and they are also the bed boss, aka the manual. And because they're all so different, there isn't this universal one size sleep oracle, and because your small is unique and their sleep story and sleep situation is unique, is one of a kind, what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. Even with siblings, if you've got 2 or more children, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this, that what works for one just might not work for the other, and it can be absolutely baffling at times, because both of the children are yours, you're bringing them up the same way, but different things can work differently. It's crazy. So yeah, number 4 is that there isn't this one size fits all sleep solution or secret out there. I wouldn't trust anybody that proclaimed that they had that, because it's insane. And this is because everybody's different. What works for one might not work for the other. And my best piece of advice about that is just to pick bits and pieces that resonate with you. There is no right or wrong way to parent, just the best way for you, and find out what works for you. For me, it always comes back to that parents, you are the expert. So I want to hear about what's going on for you, and also be led by the bed boss, aka the manual. That's your small as well. Number 5, the 5th one, got a bit confused there with the 5th and number 5 thing. You cannot spoil your small. I hear it all the time. If you go to them, give them what they want. Babies, smalls, toddlers are unable to manipulate you. In order to manipulate you, manipulation it is out there, definitely. But in order to manipulate you, they need 3 parts of their brain fully wired. And this doesn't happen until puberty. So they've got a long way to go until they can manipulate you. It's quite a complex process. And because of that, they're not made of cheese. Your baby, your small, your toddler, your child. And when I talk about small, I'm talking up to 8. You can't spoil them with love and giving in. I don't believe there are things like giving in or getting into that battle, giving them what they want is a wrong thing, because A, there's no right or wrong, but B, they're not made of cheese, and it's impossible to spoil your little one. And I'm going to come into this in more detail in point number 6, but giving them what they need isn't spoiling them, it isn't giving in, it's not any of those things. It's crazy. So yeah, it's impossible to spoil your small. So they're not made of cheese. Hug away, hold away, cuddle away, rock away. I don't think anybody's ever gonna get to the end and look back and go, oh, I wish I'd loved just a little bit less. I just don't think that's going to happen. And then number 6, this is the last one, is meeting their needs is okay. It is not soft meeting their needs. And I think this kind of ties in with number 5 quite nicely. Quite often there's so much out there that says, you've got to leave them to cry to get to that settled night's sleep. There's lots and lots of shoulds and got to and musts out there, I have to say. But meeting your baby, again, when they are crying or they're, I call it emotionally uneasy sometimes, they're always communicating a need to you. They can't manipulate you, and that need is always very genuine. And if they are asking for support, giving them that support isn't soft, it isn't spoiling them, see number 5, and it isn't stopping them from sleeping either. I think that's so important. I do a lot of talking with parents, and I hear very frequently, I gave in, I'm giving them what they want. I know it's the wrong thing. This all ties up quite nicely together. And they worry about going to their baby when they're asking, or small when they're asking for support, in case they're doing any of those things. But I 100% don't believe that meeting their emotional needs when they ask for it is soft or spoiling them. I just don't see that. If we, as adults, if we are upset or there's a need there, we wouldn't just ignore our partners. or ignore our friends if they were asking for it. And sometimes, I know life isn't always ideal. If you've got 2 or more children, you can't always get to your little one the minute they start crying. That's not what I'm about at all. There's balance within that. But knowing that not shouting to them, but making eye contact if you can, telling them that you're on your way. You can meet their needs in lots of different ways. But ultimately, if your little one is crying at night time, or crying during the naps, or crying when they're trying to get to sleep, ultimately they are trying to communicate to you in the only way they can. Crying is always communication, not manipulation. And meeting those needs is not giving in. It's not giving them what they want. It's not spoiling them. It's not soft. And it's definitely not stopping them from sleeping. It does the opposite. Builds that trust. It's the care it out. I think if I had to define care it out in a nutshell, it's that if your little one, we have to trust that if they're going to ask for support, we have to trust that if they need support, they're going to ask for it straight away by crying, getting emotionally uneasy, communicating to you. And they have to trust that if they ask, you're going to go to them. It's not soft. It actually builds that attachment, and it helps them feel safe and settled so that sleep can come. So I hope you really enjoyed that. I don't know what I was so nervous about. I really, really enjoyed that. And it feels so good to be behind the microphone again. So just a little little sleep summary of the 6 things that I really want you to know about your small sleep is: number 1, you are never to bed blame. Number 2 is you don't have to sleep train or teach them to sleep. Number 3, there are no bad bed habits ever. Number 4, there isn't a one-size-fits-all sleep solution or secret. Number 5, you can't spoil your small. And number 6, meeting their emotional needs isn't soft or giving in. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed talking to you. I hope you found it useful, informing and reassuring. There is plenty more of that where it came from. Is that how you say that? There's plenty more of that where it came from. There's plenty more of that where it came from. So thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the Sleep Show very soon. Thank you so much for listening to me, your host, Kerry Secker, on the Care It Out Sleep Show. I really hope you found the podcast reassuring, informative, and a little bit of fun. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the show below, and I'd be grateful if you could leave me some fabulous feedback. I always love hearing from you, and one lucky listener will win lifetime access to my Bedtime Basics E-Course every single month. My next podcast episode will be available in 2 weeks' time, but if you can't wait for more of my sleep shizzle, you can find me over on Instagram at Care It Out Sleep Consultant. I update my sleep squares and speak sleep there on the daily. And if you are listening on Insta, please don't forget to tag me where and when you're listening. Big love and sleep solidarity to you all.